Okay, record is on.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to a new CRID Webinar Series, and thank you for joining us in today's session titled Timeless Echoes. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, George Arbid. It's challenging to summarize George's expertise, but I will try to make it short. George is the founder and the game developer at Dour Metaverse, a gaming studio based in Abu Dhabi Gaming. He is also the lead organizer of Unreal Engine UAE Chapter, as well as the founder and manager of Other Ideas. George has experience in photography, videography, 3D animation, and drone piloting. Also, he worked with several esteemed companies and individuals such as His Highness Falah bin Zayed, Epic Games, and AD Gaming, among others. Before giving the floor to George, I would like to invite all the attendees to type their questions in the Q&A section or to send it to me privately. Thank you, George, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Hadil. Thank you, Dr. George, for this opportunity. Today I'm going to talk about my project. I'll be sharing with you my PowerPoint now. Presentation. We call it the Timeless Echoes Photogrammetry and Unveiling Heritage. I'll start with explaining first about Lidar scanning and photogrammetry and what's the purpose of each and the origin of the words, because a lot of people ask me what's Lidar, why we call it Lidar. So Lidar scanning first, let's say what's the words combination of what. It's about
George, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you
Yes.
share or not yet? Because we cannot see.
Okay, it's taking maybe time because of the internet. Wait.
Okay. Because I want everyone to see what directly was your. So yeah.
Let me know when it's sharing now. Is it?
Not yet. Just give us maybe yes. Now
okay,
we
now,
have.
okay, so maybe.
Yeah, now we see an old house. Yes. So not the presentation. Okay. You want to start with the presentation?
Yes, I started the presentation. I'll start with explaining about what's the difference between Lidar scanning.
I'm sorry, George, we don't see the presentation.
Now you're going to see the presentation. Okay. So we start from here. I'll start Lidar scanning. It's a combination of two words, light and radar. So that's why they call it Lidar. And photogrammetry is basically it's a Greek word that combines light, which is photo, and drawing, which is gramma, and metry was measurement. So it's photogrammetry because it's not found in the English dictionary photogrammetry. What's the difference between Lidar scanning and photogrammetry? Lidar scanning uses light to measure distances, and when the rays the camera or the device releases the rays, okay, the laser beam, it goes and it comes back. So this calculation of a distance will give you a three-dimensional information about the shape and the surface. While photogrammetry is different. Photogrammetry is based from more than one image that we take, and we combine them in the different softwares and applications that we will talk about later. And from that, you get your 3D dimension of I can go deeper with that. There's a lot of types of Lidar scanning and photogrammetry. Most of them that we know is airborne Lidar, which is either with big jets, big planes, or drones. And the terrestrial Lidar, which is mounted on a car, or even with the scanners, we put them on a tripod. I can show you something that I did on a Lidar scanner, which is a Metaport scanner. This is what I'm using, and there's a lot of other things. So if you can see that I can go inside and have a walkthrough inside the structure, and I can go outside and view it in a 3D structure. What we do here, we get a scanner, or now I'm not gonna specify any brand. and you go to specific places, and you stay like scanning spots till you have this full structure. This is an interior for it, and you can see the top view of it, and you can like do measurements if you want. And this is something that it made a lot of projects getting easier and easier. To go ahead, photogrammetry is the same thing that we do with the lidar. That we have airborne lidar and we have terrestrial lidar, which these are the most common things. Later on, we have like satellite lidars, satellite photogrammetry, and other things. Photogrammetry, what we do is the same thing. That we take videos, photos. I'm gonna share a small video that I just took to show you that you go around an object and take some photos around it, and then you put it in the software, and it will cover it, and it will transform it into a 3D object. And so this is mainly about what's lidar scanning and photogrammetry. We're not going into details in this because since it's not like the main subject of our webinar. We go later on, like the benefits of lidar scanning and photogrammetry. If we can see that, yes, it's like cultural heritage that we're having now, which is the city of my village that I'm doing. So you can scan your like culture and keep it for future. And if there's this construction and if there's maintenance or whatever. Second, we have architecture and construction, where a lot of architects nowadays, they are using this technique of digital, not twin, we call it digital scan, so they can modify on it instead of redrawing or reconstructing it based on photos or measurements. Surveying and mapping, this is what Google Maps is working, like how it works. From satellites for jets, for planes, for more details, they take from lower planes, and for like Google Earth, it's all done by scanning from satellites. Filming and media also production are now opening a lot on this, since we are like in Unreal Engine, we have our virtual production where you put a screen behind you, okay, instead of a green screen, and you can live work on editing the scene that you want. So what they're doing, there's a lot of people, they are scanning sites, like if you are in the UAE and you want to film in Europe, you don't need to travel there anymore. And this technique is being like a bit like not old, but it's being used now. Then we have in video games. Video games, they are loving. This is one of the purposes. I'm scanning my my small like village there because I was targeting to put it in a game, and I want it to be the exact thing. Digital twins. Digital twins is what we're talking now about scanning, photogrammetry, or lidar scanning. This is the base of the digital twins. Digital twins, it's not like just a copy, it's a live copy of what you have, a business or whatever. It gives you database and extra, etc. So to do this, you can either like construct something looks like your structure or like your business or whatever, but scanning it, or like having a digital scan or digital exact twin of it, it helps a lot to understand your business more. I'll go now to the purpose of my project. The purpose of my project, I in 2020 with the COVID, I learned a software that had to do with 360 images, and I felt that I want to do something for my village, so Dour in Lebanon, so people can look at it, see how beautiful it is, and learn more about it. So I started with this project. I can show you now the video, the 360 tour, which like you start from here, and our project is in zone 2, I believe, and we go into here. And this is the area, this is what I was trying to do, to let people understand and learn more about my village and to see how beautiful it is. And we can go here and we see this is the area that I scanned. I was trying to do it like that first, where you can walk through and you can go into home and go to other areas of the village. So you can press anywhere and see. These are like a 360 degrees technique that I started to highlight. I wanted to highlight my village, and my business was based also on this, since I have a production house also. So I'll go from this point. In 2020, when I started this, I wanted to show my village. After that, when the COVID finished and things were a bit better later on, and we focused back on our businesses, I opened my gaming studio in 2023, Dour Metaverse. It's based, if you see the name, it's Dour Metaverse. It's based on a tour word, which is like to tour, 360 tours. And the Dour in Arabic is to turn, also the same, have the same like meaning. So I combined the Arabic and the English, is Dour Metaverse. When I started my gaming studio in Abu Dhabi, and with the Association of Abu Dhabi Gaming Support, I became more involved in digital scanning, and I used to use my Matterport scanner, and I used to do a couple of businesses here and there. Then I said, okay, I was introduced very well to a software that we all know is reality capture, where it converts even laser scanning or every photogrammetry or anything into a 3D object. And for that, I will show you my testing. I started small tests from here and there before I started my final project. This one was in Hamra in the UAE, in Ras Al Khaimah. And I tried to, this is an abandoned village. It's literally abandoned. And now they're converting into a filming studio. I'm already like licensed commercial. I have my commercial license for drone flying, so I flew a bit around that, and I started to construct things, like to test things around. And these are like some also testing on how to do photogrammetry, and it was on the phone, where we're gonna talk about also what's the scans, trees, even rocks, everything, where I'm trying to build my like library to use things later on in different ways. And for that also, I'm gonna share with you now a file in Unreal Engine that it was the first attempt to how to do things. And if you can see, I scanned just like front faces of the like the buildings, and try to create a small walk in it. And now this is Bugs Bunny. I was testing it also, how to later scanning it with the phone also. I believe this was a photogrammetry. It has reflection. That was the challenge. And if you press like play, and here you go, this is so easy to have a walkthrough and a structure that you scanned or you did photogrammetry. And now, okay, let's close this. We go to the first the process and first test. It's a bit challenging that you have a big area, if you see like in the image here, and you feel that yes, you want to cover it all, and it was your first time, and you want to see how to cover this area. So is it I'm gonna fly like a drone over it, like a lot of projects, And this is what I did. I flew a drone over the village. I'm going to show you also another video of it. And this is the scan. This is from reality capture, from inside reality capture. I got mostly like everything, but not in a detailed structure. Maybe I needed a bigger drone, bigger cameras, more like sophisticated and professional tools. By the way, I'm using my DJI Air 2S, which is like a decent drone. And what I got here, I didn't get like the details I want to. Okay, it's flying through. I can navigate and like later on said, okay, let me do it like this. And later when people navigate, they navigate into 360 images. But later on I said, okay, why don't I take like specific and like more into details, like what's the structure, what's the heritage, and people that can walk there. And for that, let me share also, before I started this, I said, okay, let me do the test and for Hamra that I did. And you can see here, I'm gonna and it was shared by Reality Capture on LinkedIn. Okay, for this project, it was a bit easier because it was an open space. So I needed a couple of like land footage, and the rest was from the aerial. And then when I did that, and I saw, okay, that's fine. I went to the village during the summer, and I said, okay, I'm gonna try my luck, and let's see how it will be with like starting to scan the village. So I started first with a very small area with that. And I posted it. It was like, now I'm gonna play the video. I called also, and it was only the first part of it. So this was the first attempt there where I started to try to scan the village. And this, if you see now, I'll show you the bigger image of, if you go back, this is all the village. And it was only this place where I started my you can see it in the yellow, where I started my like first attempt. And I said, okay, that worked out. Let me go to the second attempt, where I went and I scanned this place only. So later on, we'll talk about the process and how I started, like what's the difficulties and what happened through the process. But it's only this place out of that big village. So it was like when I finished and I looked at the map and I said, well, this is only a small part of it. So I have still a lot of like the way to accomplish. And as you all, I think you've seen, this is, I'm also sharing LinkedIn files. And this is the final product. So everything you're seeing here, it was covered and during the summer, exactly the same. I didn't go even like with rebuilding anything in it. So this is what I wanted to show. And if we go now, this is the area, as I said, I still have a lot to cover. I can show you a video of how the village, how huge the village is here. This is like, if you can see, this is our area. Like, this is what I should be scanning in the future. And if I want to tell you, this is the area only that I scan. It's here small, so check how big is like the village. And it's all like old roads, stone roads, like narrow. You can only walk there, full of greenery, old houses, some new houses. It's a wonderful place. You should visit one time. And so my love to this village, okay, made me think I should make people to be introduced to that more. It's not like only I should be there, like, oh, I enjoy it. So I started to go with the process of capturing. And through that capture, I had a lot of like problems in it. To start with, if you can see on the right side of the screen, the balcony and what's under the balcony. And if you see that, and the grapes above it, and it's covering everything. So if you want to do it with the drone, it's so hard to cover these things only. So you needed land also footage to cover the areas. And if you see here on the other side, on the other picture, it's so narrow to just take it, like to fly a drone and take what's under the balcony and make it go there. So what I found a solution, it's not a solution, it's something maybe everybody is using. I have here with me, let's not show now, a 3 meters tripod monopod. So I can raise it, and with the GoPro, with the time lapse, I started to cover all the areas that the drone couldn't cover and couldn't go. And if you can see that there's like a lot of electrical wires and obstacles in front of the drone. So when I did that, the other obstacles were that to merge the drone footage with the GoPro footage, where I did a big mistake in the beginning, that I started the capturing with video footages. So I used to fly the drone with a video and then convert these video footages into, because it was easier and faster, into frames. And later the software, these frames, they will combine it, they will merge it and process it to be a 3D model. But what I found out that when I'm flying a drone or when I'm walking with my GoPro or whatever, there's a lot of damaged files and a lot of blurring the images, which like made my process takes more time on the computer, and I didn't get enough data out of it. And if you go again now, here, if you can see also, there's places that I couldn't go in. It has a fence and there's trees. I couldn't even cover it with a drone. And I had to rebuild it like in a way that use foliage and Unreal Engine to cover the greenery there. And if you can notice on the other picture, there's trees where I couldn't even cover, even with the 3 meters with the 3 meters of monopod, I couldn't reach there, and the drone couldn't cover. So I had also to climb on places and like just try to take clean footage of the areas covered by trees. Here we have, like, it's when destroyed, it showed the destroyed area. It's showed there in the footage. It's clean, it's green, and it's everything. So I have to imagine how I should be like adding greenery, trees, and how it should like to be natural and nice. And another picture, I will show you that there's a lot of wires and there's a lot of obstacles in front of the drone or any other tool that I have to scan with it to do it. The process and the challenges. There's a lot of challenges. Okay, first with the capturing of the footage, as I showed you. It's crazy. It took me around 2 months. Like, I used to try my best to go every time I can. I couldn't go through the whole day. It's summer. It's sunny all the season. I don't know. It was nice, but for me it was like a very big problem that I had to go and try to capture my footage during half an hour from 6:30 to 7 before it's dark and the footage is thrown, and before when it's the sunset, the sun sets behind the mountains, so it will give me a nice light. So I didn't, because why is that? Because I can't have shadows, because if I'm gonna have shadows in my footage, it will take me a lot of time to clean it on some softwares, and it won't look that nice. Plus, if I keep the shadows, it will be crazy when you put like something like in Unreal Engine and you have shadows and you want to light it again with your system, it will be having double shadows. And some people told me, yeah, just like match the shadows. But the problem that I couldn't cover all the area in 1 day or 2 days. And the sun will move and the shadows will move, and this is not professional. So that's how we do it. We do it either when the sunset or when we're having like cloudy, like now. Maybe I'll go to finish the other parts. Now that editing the footage, people will ask me, yeah, why do we need edit footage? Because during, as I told you, when I took captured videos, and let me put this down a bit. Okay. When I started to take videos of the areas, and I had a lot of blurry and unneeded footage. So when I import them into reality capture, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to share the project first for copyrights from some people, and this is my house, by the way. And let me share the screen. I'm always forgetting to share the screen. Okay. Share, you should see it in a bit. Is loading, hopefully. Okay. Now it's shared. And the files, I'm not going to share my original footage, because the files are huge, and it has like different layers of simplifying that and plus for the copyright, so we can be safe. So this is my house. I'm sharing my house. I can give my own copyright. As you can see here, I used drone footage, circulated it. And the purpose of starting this, by the way, because we were constructing the area here, so we did it. So what I want to show you here is that if you look to the left side of the software engine, it's a component. And this component, if you see here, it's a 21 million triangles, tries we call them, which is a huge thing. So if you want to put it in you can put it like in Unreal Engine, it will take it easily, like nothing is there. But if you want to import it into a game or in a bigger city or something, you need to simplify it. I was satisfied with the 5 million tries, but if I needed to go further and put it in a game, which I'm going to do with my original project that we're talking about, it should be like under 100,000 tries and less even though, because there's other ways now we talk about them, how we prepare files for gaming. And now, so the challenges that I used to have, like if you see here, the trees are not fine. So in my presentation, where I'm gonna let me go back, and here we go to this slideshow. Editing the footage, we spoke about it, importing into reality capture, and simulating. So when I take the footage, where I take like the hundreds of, like maybe it was my project, I had around 10,500 or 10,600 images to cover everything. So more footages, more details, sharper images, better details, good lighted images, better details, and less time in calculating. So imagine that I had to go in this specific day, like today, for half an hour, try to capture whatever I'm capturing, and then take it. I have one computer here because it's like I'm not based in Lebanon, I'm based in the UAE, and I have to simulate, import everything, simulate at night, and wait to see the results. And when I started this project, I wasn't like 100% expert. I'm still not 100% expert in reality capture, but I was like learning how to do bigger things. I used to do smaller things. I used to do something like aerial shots, like this one. This is and also on tour. So it's monastery, and it was like easy. Okay, I said things are easy. It can be done. It's easy because it's an open space and I don't need to go inside. And if you see here, sometimes when you don't have like enough footage, you have broken areas and broken meshes. So everything from that project, I had to learn at that time. I had to learn how to capture and like at least make it as much as closer in lighting or in editing between the drone footage and the GoPro footage. I didn't use like bigger cameras because I was working. It's easy, and I was like doing testing with the GoPro. It's small, and I can put it as much like higher as much, and it was easy to move around. That I had a big I did a very big mistake, and this is like seriously, no one should do it again. Like I didn't take measurements. So usually when we are like working in such things like reality capture or Unreal Engine, but when we import into reality capture, and this is a fundamental thing, I don't know why I started without it. And then I said, oh, I missed that. You need to put like a mark or something, and you say, this is okay, this is a 1 meter. And when you import it into Unreal Engine, like in the house, and you say, okay, this balcony is from here, like, or this is from here to here, is like 4 meters, and you mark it. And when you go into it, there's measurements, and you put it in the measurements tools, and you have your units there, and it's measured. Why? Because in my case, I didn't capture all the footage in one day, and I didn't process all the houses in one day. So every now and then, I used to capture one of the footage or one of the buildings. Okay, so imagine I captured this today, and I just imported without any measurements. And it's there, it's perfect. I imported it into Unreal Engine, everything is fine. And I scaled it up, or like I fixed it. So to the size that I want. The next day, I went and I started scanning this building. with a different drone, with the same drone, but maybe with the land shots and other things. When I import it to reality capture and export it, most of the times, yes, most of the times they are equally. So when you take it to Unreal Engine and you scale them, you give them like 100 or 200 scale, it will match. But sometimes when you want to do something on reality capture where I process first this house, okay, and I have it here. And the next day, I went and I processed the other house, the other building, I mean, and I tried to take around it some extra footage to match the footage of the first house. And when I combine them without measurements, sometimes it works, but most of the times it gives like unscaling. And this happened to me a lot. And it doesn't happen only when, it's not only when you have two houses. When in my case, I had around 11 or 12 houses, and what I faced when I wasn't putting measurements, that there's a road here that goes, it's like a turn, goes like from here and goes up their stairs, and it should be connected. So when I start to build house, one house, second house, third house, fourth house, and I tried to combine them in one reality capture file, I found out that it's not matching, and I had a lot of spacing between the lands and the roads, because usually what we do when we import them, we do something called trackers, that we add trackers to our structures, where we say, okay, I can see this structure, and I put a target on it, okay. And in the other footage also, I put a target, so the software knows that this is the same point. We put not 1 point, we put like 3 or 4 points, 5 points sometimes. So the software will know that this is the same point, and I should connect them and scale them. But when you have a different scales and you didn't put the measurements, it will not match at the end, and you have to repeat the simulation at least and go get measurements of existing places, existing structures or like marks, and you say this is 1 meter, this is 2 meters, and things will work out. So this is a very important thing to do. Put the measurements when you are doing a bigger, it's a must when you're doing the bigger things, but it's the fundamental of capturing and doing reality capture. If we go back to our presentation, cleaning the models, and this is, believe me, this is like it's the biggest headache in this process, because okay, it's fine, I'm having everything, and if you see here the glass, most of the times it's reflecting, it's broken. Here there's a glass, sorry here for, because it's like quick scan, so don't measure, because I didn't take any footage, like extra footage. It was like only to test it here and to make it smooth and work. So you have the glass won't show, reflections will be showing strange, trees will be showing strange. So what I mean by cleaning, you need to take your files, everything, and we have a software like for Epic, or it's called Mesh Mixer. Mesh Mixer is where you import your 3D model and you start to clean up. You can clean up here in reality capture, of course. And Mesh Mixer is like, and others, there's other products. They are wonderful and they're great. But it's easier for you to take it and clean it there, because you have to clean everything. Trees, you have to replace them. You have most of the times, yes, most of the times. For me, usually what I do, I recut everything here, like the windows and the reflection and glasses, and I reconstruct them in a 3D software, or sometimes if it's like a simple construction, I do it in reality and Unreal Engine. So to clean up is one of the things that you really need to spend, because the data is not always clean, and you have to make it like clean. You need to clean things and reconstruct. What I try to do in my project is to make it as clean as I could. I took a lot of footage, I took a lot of data, but with everything I tried to do, there's some places that it messed up with me, and I had to reconstruct it in a different way. It won't show, but as much as you take footage in a clean way, in the right way, it will be the clean process it will be. And if we go back, by the way, this is the house, one of the houses that I based my project in. It's a very nice house. It's been like abundant for some time. Hopefully someone will come and reconstruct it again. Texturing is like when you finish the process of cleaning the let me show you also in reality capture again. We will have our model like this. So this is how it shows, okay, when we first construct the model. So this is what we have. Usually what I do, this is how I process things. I clean up the model here. I clean everything. I remove the areas that not needed. I create clipping box. And then when I have a satisfied like model, I just go and texture it, and it will go to be like that. It's not even texture. No, this one's like cleaned up a bit. And then I go to this texture. It's also a simulation. The reality capture will do it for you. And we go to the process of simplifying. Simplifying, it means that here I'm having 24 million triangles, and which is like nothing in my like the main project. It has buildings with 250 million triangles, sometimes 300 and 400 million triangles. And on like I'm using VGA card RTX 3060 Ti. So it's a proper for like it's a good graphic card, but even with that, I'm not getting the full result. Now, since I was building my project, Reality Capture upgraded a lot in it, and now I believe things are easier, and it's more like holding more than like the last time it was 400 million tries. So it was like to show you how it like to give you if you want to know that we have here a suite where it's like perfect, and so with the textures, and you go solid, it shows you without the textures, and we have vertices, which is like a cloud map. And here where usually I try to examine my footage with this. And then when I'm satisfied, I go and I work with the suite. So what I need to do here, I need to clean up this, because when I'm trying to import it into my project, which has more like maybe for filming, maybe it has to be an environment, maybe and again, even though 5 million is not enough for a game, but I downside is to 5 million, which I'm satisfied. So when I cut everything, I believe it will be like 2 or million points, which I can export it as a 3ds, FBX, any other type, and I send it to the architect, and I'll ask him if he can like work directly on this and modify. Some people would think, okay, why don't you like have the 3D original maps? Sometimes we don't, like for us, we didn't, when we built this building, we didn't do a 3D model, like clean 3D model. And sometimes you have modifications while you're constructing. Of course, you take the legal papers and everything, but at the end, this is like typically what you have, and with the measurements and everything, and the architect can work on it. now let's go back. So simplifying it for this 5 million is good. If you put it in an Unreal Engine, it will work fine. If you want to put it in other like Blender, Max, Maya, Cinema 4D, maybe you need to take it down to 2 million, maybe, or 1 million, something like that. But it will handle it. It will handle it. So let's go back to the presentation. And so I want lost. So as we said, importing into Unreal Engine was a big difficult not big difficult. It was like I was learning it and how I'm going to do it. So I had a couple of problems. I'm telling you, first in the scaling, I couldn't like match the data, because it's been I'm capturing data for a month and a half, and I throw a lot of data, I throw a lot of footage, and I had to recapture from the beginning till I get the like perfect solution for that. And when I sent it into Unreal Engine, I had to cover the gaps that I have, the problems that I have in my what you call like structure. And if I want to, one of the things that I have to cover is like when you have greeneries around around your structures. So and I want to show you one image. Let me share it from here. Okay, I'll share a video. So okay. Here, one of the obstacles that you're gonna have, it's like these things, these green foliage or what, grass growing on the stones. So when you do the capture, you simplify it later on, they will be like so messy and you can't use it. So I had to remove these in the cleaning process. And when I take it to Unreal Engine, I had to replace them with something else. So with like something similar to that, because I'm not going to model the same exact plant and put it. And I had a lot of these, since it's like in the village, and we like plants grows from between the stones, and if you don't remove them, in our case, we have a lot of buildings here are not like they have no one, they destroyed or like abandoned. So I had a lot of cleaning that in Unreal Engine. And if I open this Unreal Engine project, you see like you have to replace everything with like plant, we call it foliage system in Unreal Engine. You can go there. This is not the updated Unreal Engine, by the way, not 5.3. So when you go there and you see that, oh yeah, I have a space here, I have a problem here, you go get like one of the plants and like just cover it here. So when I import it into Unreal Engine, I had also another process, adding the foliage, adding to see how it will show with the trees, and also the file. I didn't want it to be huge. I didn't want to be low resolution. I just wanted to keep the structure of the 3D and the quality of the textures and bumps. There's a lot of ways we can do, but it needs also a time where you take your structure, okay, and you take and put it into Unreal Engine. But before that, what you do, you simplify it as much as you can, and then from reality capture, you take out that textured bump, we call it, or display map, and with so you have two maps. You have display map and you have the normal map, which has the textures, the colors, and everything. And when you combine them and when you put and arrange them in Unreal Engine, let me open like something like that. When you put it like in the normal and you put you connect it to the display map, you will be having the 3D look of it. But I want it to be more like detailed, more like with the senses. So it took me a lot of time to navigate, and what takes a lot of graphic card use is the green, like the foliage system. When you have high quality trees, you're adding high quality trees, and when you're adding grass and everything, it will be, the file will be heavy more and more and more and more. Yes, I had to reconstruct some of the spaces there. Let me show you. There's an area that's not even so here also in this project, I had to reconstruct a lot of things, but it's not what I need. That's great. Thank you. And, where's the slide that I want to show you? Okay. Watch again. Okay, if you notice, one doctor, this area, it's not even in the, this one. It's not even there. So I had to make something nice of it. So I tried to add all the greeneries here, and it was a very huge file, and I suffered a bit. But now I learned my lesson, and hopefully when I want to continue scanning the rest of the village, I learned already. I had a big lesson. Let me talk about the outcome of this project, which I really enjoyed a lot. Okay, why did it close? Sorry for that again. Okay, the last slide show. The outcome, I have a high detail digital scan, where it's not a digital twin, of the place, where we can use it in marketing purposes, show people the beauty of the village, maybe put it like later on in the filming industry and show it in a movie or a series or whatever. And then I have a very simplified copy, which I'm still working on it for it to be in a game. Because the main idea of me, why I did this area, I wanted to capture that place, and I just want to put it in a game. So people want to learn about my village. They play in that area, and they can go like learn about things, maybe talking to people, or like in a game, and learn about it and explore it more and more and more. And the greatest achievement, as I wrote, is like the unlimited experience in photogrammetry. Seriously, I had to do everything by myself. I was alone. It took me like around 2 months to finish this project. I didn't have a lot of time to capture what I need to capture. Maybe it took me a long time because I was like learning and simulating and importing into from reality capture to Unreal Engine, and I was learning for the first time to do something big for the whole process by myself. I believe that this is all what I have so far, and thank you guys for listening, and I give you the stage, Dr. George and Dr. Rida. Adil.
Thank you so much, George, for this insightful presentation. We really enjoyed it. We have a couple of questions. We can start with the first one. Our audience is also interesting in the presentation big time. You can see from the questions. So the first question is, I want to ask you, how many tourists do you think the entire village will need? And how big can we expect the file to be?
Oh, okay. The files. It's okay. Let's say let's do the calculation, the math. Sometimes when you take it through, and if you're taking around like 200, 300 images for each structure to take it between drone and the land, it will be around 300 million tries. So 300 million tries, you need to put it down with the cleaning. It will, I don't work anything I put unless it's under like 50 million tries. But if I'm going to construct the whole village, it's impossible to have this. It will be so heavy for our ring, because we have like at least 100 houses. So I have to put it down to like hundreds of thousands, couple of hundreds of thousands. So the whole village should be like, I can't say, but maybe what I'm expecting is 100 million tries. But even though we can't do it like this, we're going to simplify it, and we're going to do the process of gaming structure, where we take the texture and with the display map and we combine them together. We have the 3D showing the 3D looks and the feeling, but it will be like a plain, like more planar things. Later on, we can talk how there's tutorials online to show how to simplify things to be like look nice, but on plain, not on like textured.
Next question: will we also see a game based on Dour Metaverse? I will
Yes.
First to buy. So
yes, this is what people are waiting there. By the way, when the problem that when I go there, this is the Europe, and everybody knows what you're doing, what's up. And I first of all, I want to thank everybody, all the people living there, to bear the drone noise. You know, the drone, it's like giving the sound, and it was crazy, and it was like 6:30, and people came back from their work and they want to rest. But I know everybody, so it worked out. And yes, this is what I'm trying to do. Hopefully, I can get some help from people that can help me with the capture. I need bigger computers, more computers here, because it's seriously it's so hard to do everything by yourself, and you need to study the thing. And anyway, you have your work and you have your life. I'm doing it on the side. So yes, this is my plan, and my plan is to do a small game in this, and later on we expand it.
We have one more question. You mentioned that you take 360 photos of an object, and then you use a software that will make it as a 3D object. What was the application, and is it using any generative AI?
No, look, it's different. When I started my project, I started with the 360 tools. I can show you here a video. I need to share my screen again. 1 second. I did it as for Dour World Club. Since I have a bit of good relation with them, so they allowed me to scan their hotel. And if you notice, this is a combination of two. This is now a 3D structure of the hotel, where people can see it from the outside. But when we go from the inside, we started aerial shots of the place. So this is not 3D. This is 360 images. And I don't think, I wish there was like 360 images, like when you take 360 images and you convert it into a 3D model and it works. But so far, I don't know. And even though I tried this panoramic and everything, but technology is going there, and there's a lot of professional tools and scanners that will take half of the time. That's what I'm doing.
Interesting. Okay, so that was the last question. Dr. George has one, no?
Yes. Yeah. First, George, thank you so much for this really amazing presentation and all the efforts. And then, the videos that you showed really are quite fascinating. I have just one question. While you're taking photos and all of that, you have people. I could see that there's no people in what you showed. So did you specify a specific time where there was no people, or you removed the people out, or... Because I have a question based on your answer, so I will wait for your answer, then I will continue my question.
Okay. Look, since with aerial drone, like you can't like tell people not to move. There's people there. So and I'm talking about 6:30, like till 7, everybody is coming from work and they want to go and move. And it happened that there were kids always, every day they're playing there. And they're following the drone, and you can't shout on them, Some of them are refugees, some are like, you can tell them, hey, go there from the... So I had to take more footage, and I used to, like, when I have someone in the footage, I wait, I don't capture, I wait till they move, and I use, this is one of the things that I had also to deal with. And everybody, like, when they say drone, they want to see it, follow it, and they will get in the footage. Some of the people I removed, and I want to tell you something, that if someone is passing a car or something, and you took like 100 pictures of the same area and the car passed, you don't see it in the 3D scan. So if someone is passing, not like standing there, you don't see it. It's like the simulation, in a way or another, it will take that this is a movable object and it will throw it up. But we're not talking about people standing in like more than maybe 10 or 15 frames, it will show something. Sometimes my foot used to show. So yes, you need to handle people
Okay, but you can remove them later, right? So if in case that you have some people there, you can clean them out.
Look, clean them out. You'll face one problem, that when you want to clean out and you're using like Photoshop or whatever on other software, and you clean them out. So you need to make sure that the area that they are cleaned out, it always looks the same, or it will be not textured well. So you know if you clean it. Usually what we do, we like, okay, let's say I'm taking a building and around it there's people. When I take the building, which is the important thing, that has no people in it, and I reconstruct. When I see people and it's like 3D, I remove it, I cut it, and I reconstruct it. This is like one of the cleaning processes. But I didn't have that. I tried as much as I like avoid people when they move, and I recapture. And it took me a lot of time to figure out how to do these things. And people, they want to see what you're doing.
Okay, so then the next question is, so could you take, while you're doing this 3D scan, could you take motion? Means like if you have people walking or you have people doing something, so could you include them? Because the scan looks like something that is fixed. But is there a way to scan the motion itself? So for example, you could have the 3D itself, but you could have motion happening inside that 3D. I'm asking this specific question. And you know, it's like taking a 3D video.
No, you can't. As for my knowledge, for the softwares I'm using and the applications I'm using, you can, because this is static software. So when you do it, you don't have animations. So what we do, we import later on in Unreal Engine. Let's talk about in Unity or any other softwares. Okay, I'm Unreal Engine user, but there's a lot of other softwares that, and a lot of applications, they make your life easier. But animated, so far I didn't see any example.
Okay, I see. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. I think we have one more question from the audience.
Yeah.
So this is thank you from me. So then maybe the last question from the audience.
Yeah. So we have last question. What did you use to for the capture period to the imprint?
What did I
use for the capture prior to the imprint?
Okay. Okay. I started. Okay. I have my tools. I have my drone. Okay. Okay. I have my drone. It's Mavic Air 2S. I have a bigger one in the UAE. I use GoPro. I have bigger cameras, but because I do time lapse because I have 3 meters height, like structures, I couldn't cover them unless I'm doing like automatic capturing. And this is a 3 meters stick. And then I imported them directly into reality capture. I manually cleaned up the footage because it wasn't like that big mess. And then from reality capture, I used some structure mesh mixer to clean up things, and then directly in Unreal Engine.
Thank you so much, George. Thank you for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for attending our webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. George, Dr. Badil. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.